type is transactional language. This is functional language. This is what each of us have to be able to use all the time. Directions, demonstrations, explanations, sharing information, being able to get in a discussion or debate factual information. That is so important because our lives are based upon how well we can convey information to each other. Even if it's just telling somebody how to get from here to our hotel. Beck and I were going through this last night on the cell phone when we were coming into town. She was in one vehicle and I was in another. We go through that. And our children have to become good at this because think about what happens when you have to do transactional language. Think about the thinking that happens, that you have to think about, okay, what are all the steps and sequence involved in this? How do I need to convey it in such a way that if this person is a visual, they can see the landmarks I'm talking about. If they're an auditory, I can speak in very, very detail. If they're kinesthetic, oh my gosh, am I going to have to walk them and say, you know, so often what I have to do, because I'm so kinesthetic, is I'll say, now tell me where I'm going, okay, yeah, and then I'm going here. And if I've done it with my body, and I have children in my classroom that are the same way, then I've got it. But if I were not quality, it didn't have the quality of transactional language, I might not be able to give that to my children or get it myself. So that's important. The third one that people often look at as oral language is poetic language. That's the literary language, language that comes from the literature. And one of the problems we have today is that we have a whole generation of children who are coming through our society that are not filled with poetic language. Their wells are empty. And they're kids that come from fine middle-class families or upper-class families whose parents are so busy that they're sitting in front of a television or a video game and the language they're learning is, take that, sucker, okay? Or, you know, gimme, 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 okay? And that's one of the problems because the poetic language is the language of imagination. It is the language in which we talk about what character traits are and who people are, and we retell and recite. I have a group of kids that have come to me in the last couple of years that all they can talk about at recess is fighting and playing fighting games and having swords and shooting and all this, because what has their world been surrounded with in the last few years? I'm in the process of writing a book, and my book is called The Heroic Life. And it's about, I believe, teachers are the heroes of the 21st century. And it's about the fact that all of us live so heavily with fear in our lives today. Whether we're a teacher and it's NCLE and high-stakes testing and parents that are not supportive, or and just living, many of us, in violent locations where we teach. I mean, I had a kick the heck out of my leg last year, and one popped my thumb out of joint. Okay? So you could live with a lot of fear there. And then kids that are living since 9/11 in this intense fear that something's going to happen and they don't know what it is. And their parents are in fear because of economic issues. And then we wonder why we have more aggression and meanness. And we have teachers who, for the first time in their lives, are sniping at kids. And what I know is one of the best ways I found in my classroom to get past that with my kids is to get them past that street language, past that what they've heard at home, and to totally immerse them in my classroom in quality language, poetry, song. We break into song in our classroom constantly. I have a song that I brought back from New Zealand that goes, I'll build a fire big enough for two, big enough for two, my honey, big enough for two. When we get married, how happy we will be under the ko-fi, underneath the ko-fi tree, and then it spells. And you'll be M-I-N-E, mine, I'll be T-H-I-N-E, thine, and I'll L-O-V-E, love you all the T-I-M-E time, are the B-E-S-T, best of all the R-E-S-T rest, and I'll L-O-V-E, love you all the T-I-M-E time. If you were to walk into my classroom right now when kids are sitting at their desks working, you would hear some kids start going, Pretty soon it starts coming out, and it's out of their language. My kids constantly, I love David Greenberg's oonga, 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 deep in the heart of the African jungle, lived a lion, lived a tiger, lived a chimpanzee. And children are so immersed, and when they start to talk about poetry and language, and that's what we have to have, because you know what? If their wells are empty, they don't have anything to write from. If their wells are empty, they don't have anything to say. So we have to fill that, and that's part of poetic language. Because sometimes, most of the time, if children have low oral language skills, there isn't going to be written language. There isn't going to be reading, because they don't have anything to tap into. So we have to. It's an imperative. And the people that are giving us all of this, don't put children's books in the classrooms anymore. We just have our guides, our basals, and that's what you're going to do. My view is get through it as quick as possible and go on to the best stuff. Because I can teach the meaningless stuff that they give me in 2 seconds flat. But the good stuff, I got to go deeper and deeper and deeper, because the hearts of my children go deeper into it every day. And it's imperative that we do that. So let's go on. These are, I just gave you research, because we're all doing research-based reading nowadays. So there's your research. It's in, I think I put it in. Did I put the research in there? If I did and you want a copy of this slide, email me. I'll send you the research for why we do oral language. I'm not going to go into it. Okay? I'm just trying to bite the bullet here, folks, okay? So